Have you ever noticed that as you grow, your goals are changing and your goals are growing with you? When I very first started in the beauty industry, all I wanted is freedom. Freedom to choose my own hours, freedom to earn more, and essentially the freedom to ask someone else's permission on how I live my life. And then something changed because the business that I was building, that the business that I was once just dreaming about, became my comfort zone. And we know that comfort zone is a very dangerous place. And I had to realize that I wasn't chasing freedom anymore. I needed something more, and I realized that I am now chasing impact. And that realization is kind of when everything changed. Well, a lot of things changed. And that's also because the one thing that I have noticed since I have been working with hundreds of beauty professionals, mostly nail techs, that not all of our goals are created equal, because the goal that you set for yourself, it reflects the person that you think you are. And as your identity grows, your goals are growing as well. So that's why I created what I call the 3 levels of goals to make it easier to understand. And it's not about, like one goal is better than the other one, but because I want you to identify where you are today, and then you can make a very conscious decision on where you want to be, who you want to be. So get a notebook, I guess, and write down which level you are on today, because awareness is the first and probably the most important step towards transformation. And we are here to transform our lives, right? So, level 1 is the freedom goals. And I think this is where every entrepreneur starts. Maybe you are working in retail, maybe you are working in a coffee shop, maybe you have a 9 to 5 job that doesn't make you happy anymore. You have a boss, there is another person who is deciding how many hours you work, therefore how much you earn, how much you work, when you can take a holiday or a day off, and you are sick of it. You don't want someone else decide on whether you can or can't take a holiday. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you found a really nice cheap flight ticket, but by the time your work approved your holiday request, the price doubled? Or you couldn't even take the holiday because one of your colleague has already booked the same week, and clearly without two of you, the business falls apart. You also don't want to ask someone else's permission to spend time with your family. Like, how many Christmases, birthday, anniversaries, school plays you have missed because you had to work. You also don't want to have your income based on someone else's mood or capability of putting together a decent roster. Like, you don't want to beg for more hours because you only got 31 hours instead of the 40. You want freedom, the freedom of time, the freedom of choice, the freedom of building something that it's yours. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I believe almost every successful entrepreneur begins with a simple thought, a simple idea that there has to be another way. There has to be a better way. So level 2 is success goals. When you say, I want to build a successful business. So you learn a new skill. So you practice after work. You work in the evenings. You work at the weekends when everybody else is relaxing. Like, you are basically using every free minute on building a dream life, a dream business for yourself. And eventually, you leave your job. You open your own business. Nobody tells you what products to use. Nobody tells you when to start working. Nobody tells you whether you can or can't take a Wednesday off if you want. You are finally your own boss. And it feels incredible. It feels freeing. You can breathe again. And you build up a clientele. Your online booking system is absolutely booked out, or your diary, whatever you use. People recommend you to their friends, and you are actually making more money than you ever imagined that you would. And from the outside, it looks like you made it. And you should be so fucking proud of yourself because you worked incredibly hard to get there. But then something unexpected happens. You realize that your business depends entirely on you. If you don't work, if you are not taking care of clients, sitting behind the nail desk, or spending time in the treatment room, the money stops coming. And that's when the next question appears in your head. Is this really it? Not because you are ungrateful. You are so grateful to every single client of yours. You love them more than anything. But it means that you have grown and you need something else, something more. That's when level 3 comes in, the legacy goals. When you think, I want to multiply my impact. And this is the level where educators are born. One day you will realize something so powerful. You realize that you can only take so many clients a day. You can only work so many days a week. Therefore, there is always going to be a ceiling on your income. And that income only comes in when you are working, when you're physically there. But when you teach, everything changes. You can teach hundreds of students. Those students will go on and help thousands of clients. Now, that's an impact. So you stop asking, okay, how many clients I can do? And now you start asking, how many lives I can influence, how many lives I can change, how many people I can help living the same life that I'm living now. Because it makes you happy. You stop trying to be the best nail technician. You stop trying to be the best beauty therapist. Instead, you want to start creating and educating the next generation of incredible beauty professionals. And then something shifts in you because it kind of stops being about money. Money comes with it, goes without saying. It becomes about something that lasts. Every single one of your signature on every single certificate that you give out to your students, that's an impact that it lasts a lifetime. This is why I created the Train the Trainer, not simply to teach how to deliver a course. It's more about helping beauty professionals to step into a complete new identity. Because becoming an educator isn't about just changing a career, it's about becoming a different person, a new version of yourself, probably a better version of yourself. And there is something that it's really, really important. You can't create a level 3 vision if you are still live in your level 1 or level 2 identity. You need a mindset change. You need an identity change. Your goals don't grow first. You do. As you start thinking differently, as you start leading differently, as you start serving differently, your goals naturally become bigger. Most people think they need a better strategy. I don't. I believe that every new level requires a new version of you, like an upgraded you. Like the beginner nail tech or the beginner beauty professional who was dreaming about leaving her job isn't the same person who is running a thriving business. And the business owner who becomes an incredible educator doesn't think the same way as she did when she started. Your business grows when you grow. Your impact grows when your identity grows. Before you decide where you're going, you really need to understand who you are and where you are. And most people skip this step. They start chasing bigger dreams instead before they actually become the person who is capable of achieving them. And I think the ChatGPT interview challenge is kind of helping you a little bit because it's kind of helping for you to discover your own story, your values, your experiences, your purpose, if you like. Because when your goals are connected, who you truly are, they stop feeling out of reach. They stop feeling impossible. They become obvious, like duh. They become inevitable. Speaking of the ChatGPT interview story, I do this on social media, so I'm going to leave the links in the notes. But before I wrap this up, let me ask you one question. Which level are you on today? Are you fighting for freedom? Are you building a business? Are you already teaching? Just to make it clear, none of these goals are wrong. They are different stages of the same journey that we are on. But there is something I really want you to remember. Your next level is not waiting for a better opportunity. Your next level is waiting for a better version of you. And that's because this journey will always follow the same steps: freedom, success, legacy. Freedom to leave your 9 to 5 job, success, building a successful business, legacy, when you start teaching other people. So if you're dreaming about becoming an educator to train the next generation of amazing beauty therapists, beauty professionals, nail techs, whatever. If you dream about raising the standards in education in the beauty industry, because hell, we need this, then you are in exactly the right place. So if this video resonated with you, then like it and follow. I'm new to YouTube, so do whatever magic you have to do, and leave some sort of comment, because apparently that helps the algorithm so I can get to more people like you.